I used to think love was the safest place on earth. I was wrong. My name is Emily Harper, and 3 years ago, I was living what I thought was a dream. A cozy 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Seattle. Fairy lights strung across the ceiling. A job I adored at Pages and Parchment, the little indie bookstore on Pine Street, where the smell of coffee and old books wrapped around you like a hug. And Ryan Michael Keller. 6'2", hazel eyes that crinkled when he laughed. Hands calloused from construction work, but gentle when they brushed my hair from my face. He was my future. My forever. We met on a rainy Tuesday in October. I was restocking the romance shelf ironic, I know, when I reached for the last copy of The Notebook. So did he. Our fingers touched. Static. Not the electric kind from dry winter air, the kind that makes your heart skip. He smiled, sheepish. You take it? He said. No, I laughed. You were here first. He insisted. I insisted harder. We ended up splitting a hot chocolate at the cafe next door, arguing over whether Noah and Allie were soulmates or just stubborn. By the time the rain stopped, he had my number. By Christmas, he had my heart. 6 months later, he proposed on the pier at Golden Gardens. Sunset bleeding pink and orange across the water. He got down on one knee, ring box trembling in his hand. Emily Grace Harper, he said, voice cracking, you're my home. Marry me? I cried so hard I could barely say yes. Our friends cheered from the dunes. Someone popped champagne. It was perfect. We were perfect. Everyone said so. My mom called us the couple from the movies. My best friend Tara squealed every time she saw the ring, a simple white gold band with a single diamond. Modest, but earned. Ryan had saved for a year, picking up extra shifts, skipping beers with the guys. He's a keeper, Tara said. I believed her. We planned a small wedding. 50 guests. Wildflowers. A string quartet. I tried on dresses in secret, twirling in front of mirrors, imagining his face when he saw me walk down the aisle. But what I didn't know that day, what I couldn't have known, was that Ryan had a shadow, a secret so dark, so twisted, it lived in the cracks of our perfect life, growing like mold behind wallpaper. Waiting. Watching. Ready to swallow me whole. It started small, little fractures in the fairy tale. He began coming home late, not just tired, distant. His laugh didn't reach his eyes anymore. He'd kiss my forehead, say, long day, and disappear into the shower. I'd stand outside the bathroom door, listening to the water run, wondering why I felt so cold. Then the perfume. Not mine. Mine was vanilla and cedarwood warm, grounding. This was floral. Sweet. Cloying. Like a teenager's body spray. I found it on his jacket collar one night, pressed my nose to the fabric. My stomach flipped. Who's this? I asked, holding the jacket up. He didn't flinch. Client's wife, he said. Big barbecue at the site. She hugs everyone. You know how it is. I wanted to believe him. I needed to. Then the phone calls. Landy and Stephen A.M. Buzz. 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 He'd roll over, silence it fast, mutter, work emergency, and pretend to sleep. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, counting the cracks in the plaster like sheep. One night, I asked, is everything okay, Rye? He smiled, too wide, too fast. Of course, babe, just stress. Big project. You know. But his eyes, they wouldn't meet mine. I told myself I was paranoid. That love meant trust. That I was lucky. That I was enough. Until the day I found the second phone. It was a Thursday. He'd left his work bag by the door, usual. Ryan was meticulous. Tools in order. Lunch packed. Bag zipped. But that day, it was half open, like he'd been in a rush. I went to grab his water bottle. My hand brushed something hard in the lining. A tear. Small. Hidden. I slipped my fingers inside. A phone. Cheap. Black. Burner. The kind drug dealers use in movies. My breath caught. I powered it on. No passcode. The lock screen loaded. A little girl, maybe 4 years old. Blonde curls. Dimples. Ryan's nose. Ryan's eyes. My knees buckled. I sank to the floor, clutching the phone like it was a bomb. I opened the messages. Hundreds. To a contact saved as a, "Miss you both so much. Tell her Daddy's coming soon. Same motel. Room 12. Tomorrow night. I love you. Both of you. Both of
You.
I scrolled up. Years. Years of messages. Photos. Videos. A toddler's birthday party. A woman's hand wearing a ring not mine. A selfie of Ryan kissing her cheek. The little girl asleep on his chest. I dropped the phone. It clattered on the hardwood. The screen cracked. But the image stayed burned in my mind. That little girl. His daughter. Our daughter? No. Not ours.
His.
And hers. I sat on the floor until the sun came up, until the apartment filled with gray morning light, until Ryan walked in, whistling, holding coffee. "Hey, babe," he said, leaning down to kiss me. I didn't move. He froze, saw the phone, saw my face. He whispered. I couldn't speak. I just pointed. That's when the lies began to unravel. In my world, it shattered. Rain intensifies, thunder rumbles, low tello. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Not yet. I just stared at him. The man I'd planned to marry. The man who'd held me through panic attacks. Who'd danced with me in the kitchen at 3 a.m. Who'd promised me forever. And I said, "Tell me everything." He sat. Slowly. Like a man walking to his execution. Her name was Lila. High school girlfriend. They dated senior year. She got pregnant. He was 19. Scared. Told her he'd stay. Then he didn't. He left town, changed his number, enrolled in community college 3 states away, met me, fell in love, or so he claimed. But he never ended it with Lila. He'd been flying back every few months, using work trips as cover, staying in cheap motels. Plain house, plain daddy, 4 years. 4 years of weekends with them. Weekdays with me. "You have a daughter," I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. It was flat. Dead. He nodded. "Her name's Sophie. She's 4. She calls me Daddy." I laughed. A sharp, ugly sound. "And what am I, Ryan? The placeholder? The fool?" He reached for me. I flinched. "Don't," I said. "Don't you dare touch me." He cried. Big, messy tears. Said he loved me. That Lila was a mistake. That he'd end it. Marry me tomorrow. Give me anything. Everything. But I saw it now. The truth behind the tears. He didn't love me. He loved the version of me that let him live 2 lives. The version that packed his lunch and believed his lies. I stood. Walked to the bedroom. Pulled out a duffel bag. "What are you doing?" He asked. "Leaving," I said. "You can't." "I can, and I am." He blocked the door, begged, pleaded, got angry. "You're overreacting," he shouted. "This is my life too." I looked at him, really looked, and I said, "No, Ryan, this was my life. You just rented space in it." I pushed past him, grabbed my laptop, my journal, the photo of us at the Space Needle, ripped it in half, left his half on the floor. He followed me to the door. Please. "I'll fix this." "You can't," I said. And I walked out, into the rain, into the storm, into the truth. I didn't go far, just to Tara's. She opened the door in pajamas, eyes wide. I collapsed in her arms, told her everything. She didn't speak, just held me. Made tea. Let me cry until I had nothing left. The next morning, I made a plan. Not revenge, not yet. Information. I created a fake email. A fake name. Sarah Mitchell. Sent Lila a message. "I think we need to talk. I know about Ryan." She responded in 6 minutes. "Who is this?" I sent her a photo. Me and Ryan, engaged, happy. Her reply, "That's my fiancé." I stared at the screen. Fancy. He'd proposed to her too. Same ring, style, different stone. I felt sick, but I kept going. We met at a park. Sophie was at preschool. Lila looked tired, pretty but worn, like someone who'd been waiting for a man who never stayed. She cried when she saw me, not angry, devastated. "I thought you were his friend," she said. "He told me you were just a roommate." Told her he was ending things with his roommate. That was me, his roommate. I told her about the wedding dress, the venue deposit, the invitations I'd already ordered. We laughed, bitter, broken, bonded. Before I left, I asked, "What will you do?" She looked at Sophie's empty swing. "Leave," she said. "Take my daughter. Start over. He doesn't get to play daddy when it's convenient." I nodded. "Same," I said. But I wasn't done. I moved out officially. Took only what was mine. Left the furniture, the photos, the life. Ryan blew up my phone. Texts. Voicemailed. "I'm sorry. I love you. Come home." I didn't reply. Instead, I built a file. Screenshots, bank statements, flight records, photos, everything. I contacted his boss, not to get him fired, to get the truth on record. Sent an anonymous email. "Your foreman, Ryan Keller, has been falsifying overtime and travel expenses to visit a second family." Attached proof. 2 days later, he was suspended. Pending investigation. I contacted Lila's mom, sent her the same file. She called Ryan's parents. His sister, his best friend. The dominoes began to fall. But I saved the best for last. Soft acoustic guitar fades in, warm sunrise light. 3 months later, I'm in a new city, Portland. A studio apartment with plants and sunlight. A new job writing for a true crime blog. Ironic, I know. I don't flinch at love stories anymore. I write them. The real ones. The messy ones. The ones that don't end with happily ever after. Ryan found me. Showed up at my door. Unshaven. Eyes red. Holding a wilted bouquet. He said, "I lost everything. Lila left, took Sophie. My job's gone. My family won't speak to me. I'm alone. I'm sorry." I looked at him. Really looked, and I felt nothing. "You didn't lose everything," I said. "You lost the lie. And the lie was never yours to keep." He cried, begged, offered to change, to go to therapy, to be better. I closed the door. The next day, I published the story, anonymously, on a blog called The Other Woman. Title, "I was his fiancée. She was his wife. He was the lie." It went viral. 100K views in a week. Comments poured in. "I went through this. Thank you for saying it out loud. You saved me from marrying my Ryan." Lila found it. Sent me a message. "Sophie and I are in Colorado now. New school, new life. Thank you." I smiled. For the first time in months. 1 year later, I'm at a coffee shop. Writing. A woman sits across from me. Early RCS. Nervous. She recognizes me. "You're Emily Harper," she says. "The blogger." A nod. She pulls out a ring. Shows me a text from her fiancé. "Late meeting. Don't wait up." But she tracked his location. He's at a motel. I don't tell her what to do. I just say, "Trust your gut." She cries, thanks me, leaves. I watch her go, and I know the story isn't over. It's just beginning. To every woman watching this, if he's hiding a phone, if he flinches when you touch his screen, if his stories don't add up, you're not crazy. You're not too much. You're not paranoid. Your gut is your compass. Your truth is your power. I didn't expose Ryan to destroy him. I exposed him to free myself and Lila. and Sophie, and every woman he would have lied to next. Love isn't blind trust. It's eyes wide open. It's choosing someone who chooses you every day, every truth, every flaw. I'm not the girl who believed in fairy tales anymore. I'm the woman who survived one and wrote the real ending. So if you're holding a cracked phone, a secret text, a sinking heart, know this: you are not a mistake. You are the awakening. And one day, you'll look back at this moment and thank the woman who walked through fire to find her own light. Music swells, hopeful, triumphant. Drop a heart in the comments if you've ever been betrayed. You're not alone, and you will rise. I promise. Fade to black. Title card: The secret he hid broke me. I exposed his dark truth.
The first time I stepped into my new house, I swear the walls sighed with relief, like they'd been waiting for me. Sunlight spilled through the tall windows, painting golden stripes across the hardwood floors. I'd picked out my self-wide planks. Warm oak, the kind you dream about when you're stuck in a shoebox. Apartment with peeling linoleum. I kicked off my shoes and ran barefoot from room to room, laughing like a kid. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a kitchen with an island big enough to dance on, a backyard that sloped gently toward a creek, where fireflies blinked every summer night. I'd earned this. Every overtime shift as a nurse, every skipped vacation, every no to dinners out with friends, it all led to this moment. I stood in the empty master bedroom, arms spread wide, and whispered to the ceiling, "We did it, girl. We're home." I'd always been the responsible one, the oldest of 4 sisters: Leela, Claire, Sophie, and me. The Rock, as Mom liked to call me. While they flitted through life like butterflies' new boyfriends. New cities, new dreams, I stayed rooted. I paid the bills when Mom's car broke down. I co-signed Leela's student loans. I sent Claire rent money when her art career hit a dry spell. I even let Sophie store her childhood teddy bears in my closet because dorm storage is so expensive. Mom said I was blessed with a giving heart. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. That first Saturday, I invited her over to see the house. She arrived with her arms full of grocery bags, always feeding someone, and a bottle of cheap champagne. To new beginnings. She toasted, clinking her plastic cup against mine. She wandered through the rooms like a proud mama bird, cooing over every detail. "Oh, honey, look at this light," she said, standing in the corner bedroom. "Perfect for Claire's painting." "And this one's so cozy," she murmured, peeking into the back room. "Sophie would love it for studying." I laughed. "Mom, I haven't even bought furniture yet." She waved me off. "Details, details. You'll figure it out." I should have seen the sparkle in her eye. The way she lingered in each doorway. Mentally assigning rooms like a real estate agent. But I was too busy glowing. Too busy imagining Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas mornings in my dining room. That night, I fell asleep on an air mattress in the living room, surrounded by unpacked boxes, dreaming of paint swatches and throw pillows. But what I didn't know was that Mom had already started unpacking her plans. The next morning, I woke to a text from Lila. "Oh my God, thanks for the room, sis. Moving in Friday." Attached was a selfie of her in my front yard, holding a duffel bag and grinning like she'd won the lottery. My stomach dropped so fast I nearly dropped my phone. I called her voicemail. "Claire, voicemail. Sophie, voicemail, finally." Mom picked up. "Mom, what is this?" I asked, my voice already shaking. "Oh, sweetheart, don't be dramatic," she said. "Oh, sweetheart, don't be dramatic," she said, like I'd complained about the weather. "The girls are in a bind. Leela's roommate kicked her out. Claire's lease is up. And Sophie's dorm is a nightmare. You have 3 bedrooms and you're all alone. It's family. We share." I stood in my kitchen, kitchen gripping the counter so hard my knuckles went white. But it's my house, I whispered. Silence, then. You'll understand when you're a mother. I hung up and stared at the coffee mug in my hand. It was the one I'd bought just for this house-white ceramic with tiny gold stars. My first home purchase. Now it felt like a prop in someone else's play. That was the moment the cracks started. Not in the mug. In me. Friday came like a storm I couldn't outrun. I pulled into my driveway after a 12-hour shift, feet swollen. Eyes burning, and there they were. Leela's beat-up Honda stuffed with clothes. Claire's easels leaning against the garage. Sophie's teddy bear collection spilling out of a laundry basket. Mom stood in the doorway like a general, directing traffic. Careful with that lamp. She called to Leela. It's going in the master. I slammed my car door. What is this? Mom turned, smiling like I'd just walked into a surprise party. Welcome home, honey. The girls are all settled. Settled, the word hit me like a slap. I stormed inside. My moving boxes. Shoved into the garage. My air mattress. Folded in a corner. Leela was already in the master bedroom. Clothes exploding from suitcases. Claire had claimed the sunny corner room. Canvases propped against my walls. Sophie was curled up in the back room with her laptop and a bag of chips, my chips. Where am I supposed to sleep? I asked, voice cracking. Mom patted the couch. Right here. It pulls out. Perfect for now. Perfect for now. I tried to fight. God, I tried. Mom, I paid for this. I signed the papers. This isn't a dorm. She sighed like I was a toddler throwing a tantrum. You're being selfish. Family helps family. I turned to my sisters. You could have asked. Leela rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd stick. You would have said no. Claire added, you're always so uptight about money. Sophie just shrugged. Mom said it was fine. That night, I lay on the pull-out couch in the basement, lumpy. Cold smelling of mildew, and listened to them upstairs. Music thumping. Doors slamming. Laughter echoing through the vents. My shampoo disappeared from the shower. My coffee beans vanished. My plants wilted because no one watered them. I came home from work one day to find Mom in my office, my sacred space with a built-in. Bookshelves rifling through my desk. Just looking for a pen, she said, but I saw the stack of papers in her hand. My mortgage statement. My credit card bill. My savings account balance $42,000 I'd scraped together 4 renovations. What are you doing? I whispered. She didn't even flinch. Making sure you're not overextending yourself, honey. You work so hard. Whispered. She didn't even flinch. Making sure you're not overextending yourself, honey. You work so hard. That's when I realized this wasn't about space. This was about control. She'd always treated me like the family ATM, the reliable one. The one who'd never say no, and now she turned my greatest achievement into her personal boarding house. I stopped sleeping. I'd lie awake in the dark, staring at the basement ceiling, tears sliding into my ears. I'd whisper to the shadows. This is my home, but it didn't feel like it anymore. It felt like a prison with floral curtains. Then came the night that broke me. I came home late, another double shift hand found them in the kitchen, eating pizza on my plates. Leela, she's being such a drama queen. It's not like she uses the rooms. Claire, Mom says if she kicks us out, we'll just guilt trip her until she caves. Mom, she get over it. She always does. I stood in the doorway, invisible. My scrubs still smelled like hospital antiseptic. My hands shook so hard I had to hide them behind my back. Something shifted in me then. The tears dried up. The trembling stopped. I wasn't going to beg anymore. I wasn't going to explain. I was going to take my house back. And I was going to make sure they never forgot who it belonged to. But first, I needed a plan. A perfect plan. started small, like a whisper before a scream. First, the Wi-Fi. I changed the password to something only I knew. When Lila screamed from upstairs, "Why's the internet down?" I called out sweetly, "Oh, I must have forgotten to pay the bill this month. I'd paid it early and set up autopay for the next year." Then the TV. I accidentally unplugged it during Claire's favorite reality show. Oops, extension cord must have tripped. She spent an hour crawling behind the entertainment center looking for the outlet. Sophie. I replaced her $80 face cream with a $3 drugstore dupe. She didn't notice for a week. When she finally did, she blamed the brand for changing the formula. Mom, I started locking my office. Then my bedroom the basement closet I'd claimed as a dresser. I installed a keypad lock on the garage. For security, I told her. She rolled her eyes but didn't push. But the real plan, that took time and silence and every ounce of patience I had left. I waited until Mom announced her big 60th birthday party at my house. Of course, she'd invited 40 people, caterers, a DJ, a balloon arch. She even used my credit card to book it all. You don't mind, do you, honey? It's for family. I smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. Of course not. Mom, let me help plan everything. For 2 weeks, I was the perfect daughter. I picked up decorations. I confirmed the caterer. I even baked her favorite lemon bars. They thought I'd caved. They thought I'd accepted my role as the family doormat. They had no idea. The night before the party, while they were all out shopping for outfits, we need to look amazing for Mom's big day. I made my move. I hired movers, professional ones, the kind who don't ask questions. I packed every single thing that wasn't mine. Lila's clothes, Claire's easels, Sophie's textbooks, Mom's overnight bag, even her favorite coffee mug into labeled boxes. I had the locks changed. I installed a Ring camera on every door. I left a single note on the kitchen counter, written in my neatest handwriting. Welcome to the party. Enjoy the house from the driveway. The homeowner. Then I left. I checked into a hotel with soft sheets and room service. I turned off my phone. I took a bubble bath. I slept for 12 hours. The next morning, I woke to 47 missed calls, 23 voicemails, a video from Lila, them standing outside my front door, boxes piled high like a fortress, pounding and screaming. Mom was crying hysterically. Claire was yelling obscenities at the Ring camera. Sophie looked small, scared. I watched it twice. Then I posted on the family group chat. House rules, my name on the deed. My key, my decision. Parties canceled. Love you. Then I blocked them all. 2 days later, Mom showed up at my hospital. She'd been crying so hard her mascara ran in black rivers down her cheeks. She cornered me in the parking lot. "How could you do this to your own mother?" she sobbed. On my birthday, I looked her in the eye, really looked and said, "How could you do this to your own daughter?" For months. She opened her mouth, closed it, had no answer. My sisters tried everything, guilt, anger, even threats. Lila left a voicemail saying she'd tell everyone what a selfish B***chi I was. Claire posted a tearful Instagram story about family betrayal. Sophie sent a text, "I'm sorry. Can I just get my teddy bears?" I didn't respond. Not yet. The police came once Mom called them. Hysterical. The officer knocked on my door, saw the deed in my name, saw the locks, saw the camera footage of them trying to break in with a screwdriver. He just shrugged. "Ma'am, it's her house." Eventually, they left. Lila moved in with a boyfriend who totally gets her. Claire got a studio apartment the size of a closet. Sophie went back to dorms and actually started studying. Mom, she stayed with Aunt Linda in a basement with no windows and a single twin bed. I reclaimed every room. I painted the master bedroom soft sage, the color I dreamed of since I was 12. I but new sheets that smelled like lavender and sunlight. I hung a gallery wall of my photos. Me at nursing school graduation. Me holding my first paycheck. Me standing in this house, keys in hand, smiling like I'd won the world. I put a sign above the front door. My home, my peace. Some people call it revenge. I call it boundaries. I still love my family from a distance now, with locked doors and a full heart. Because some things are worth fighting for. And some homes are worth coming back to. Looking back, I wish I'd seen it sooner. Looking back, I wish I'd seen it sooner the way love can twist into entitlement. How family can become a weapon if you let it. I wish I'd set boundaries at 18, at 25, at 30, but I learned something in that basement on that lumpy couch with tears in my ears. The strongest revenge isn't destruction. It's protection. It's saying this far, no further, and meaning it. It's choosing yourself without apology. I still send Mom a card on her birthday. I still Venmo Sophie for textbooks. I even helped Claire find a cheaper apartment, but I do it from my home. On my terms. Because a house isn't just walls and a roof. It's the space where you finally get to say, "This is mine, and I'm keeping it."
Let me take you back to when the world still made sense. Back to when I thought love was safe and family was sacred. I was 23, living in the little blue house on Maple Street with my parents and my younger sister, Ava. We weren't rich, but we were whole. Sunday dinners, matching Christmas pajamas, Dad's terrible dad jokes, Mum's apple pie that could fix any bad day. And Ava was my shadow. 2 years younger, wild curls, always stealing my hoodies, always knowing my secrets before I even said them. We shared a bedroom until I was 16. She'd crawl into my bed during thunderstorms. I'd hold her hand and whisper, "It's just noise, Ava. It can't hurt you." I taught her how to ride a bike, how to curl her hair, how to say, "I'm fine," when you're not. She was my built-in best friend, my little echo, my person. And then there was Jake. Music softens, warm guitar. Jake, my Jake. We met at the community college library. I was reaching for a worn copy of Pablo Neruda. He reached at the same time. Our fingers brushed. He smiled. And I swear, the fluorescent lights flickered like movie magic. He had messy brown hair, green eyes that crinkled when he laughed, a voice like warm honey. 6 months later, he said, "Lena, you're my home." He traced my name on my wrist with his thumb. I believed him. I believed us. Ava loved Jake too, in that sweet sisterly way. She'd tease him about his terrible dance moves, beg him to drive her to soccer practice when I was working late. He'd grown, but always say yes. "Anything for family," he'd grin. And I'd feel this glow in my chest, like I'd won the lottery twice. The perfect boyfriend, the perfect sister, the perfect life. That Friday, I came home early. My shift at the cafe ended at 4 instead of 7. I wanted to surprise Jake with takeout from his favorite Thai place. Pad Thai, extra peanuts, just how he liked it. I texted Ava, "Bringing dinner, be home soon." She replied with a heart emoji. Nothing unusual. I slipped my key into the lock. The house smelled like vanilla candles, Ava's favorite. I kicked off my shoes, padded toward the living room, and froze. There, on our couch, the one Mom reupholstered last spring with the tiny floral pattern. Ava's hands were tangled in Jake's hair. His arms circled her waist like they'd done it 1,000 times. Their lips, moving slow, hungry, familiar. The takeout bag slipped from my fingers. Pad Thai splattered across the hardwood. Peanuts scattered like confetti at a funeral. They jumped apart. Ava's eyes went wide. "Lena, oh my God." Jake stood, hands up like I was holding a gun. It's not what it looks like, but it was. And in that moment, something inside me died. Music cuts to silence. Heartbeat drum. Rain intensifies. I couldn't breathe. The room spun. My sister, my Ava, was wearing my hoodie. The grey one I'd left at Jake's apartment last weekend. The one that still smelled like my perfume. I backed away. My voice came out small. Broken. How long? Ava's lip trembled. Lena, please let me explain. How long? Jake swallowed hard. His Adam's apple bobbed like he was choking on the truth. 3 months. 3 months. 91 days. Of stolen kisses while I was at work. 91 nights of I love you texts that meant nothing. 91 mornings I woke up smiling. While they woke up together, I ran upstairs, slammed my bedroom door, collapsed against it. The tears came hot and ugly. I wanted to scream, to claw the walls, to erase the image burned behind my eyelids. But worse than the pain was the why. Why her? Why my sister? I kept replaying every moment. The way Ava asked about Jake's schedule. When does he get off work again? I thought she was being sweet. How she'd accidentally bump into us at the movies. Oh, you guys are here too? What a coincidence. I thought it was cute. The late night study sessions when I was asleep. Jake's helping me with chemistry, she'd say. I thought she was struggling. I'd praised her, thanked her, called her supportive. I was so stupid. Mom knocked later, her voice soft through the door. Sweetheart? Ava says you had a fight. I opened the door just enough to see Ava behind her. Eyes red, wringing her hands like a child caught stealing. Mom looked confused. Whatever it is, we'll fix it. Your sisters. The word tasted like poison. That night, I couldn't sleep. I scrolled through Jake's Instagram, something I hadn't done in months. And there it was. A story from 2 weeks ago. Him and Ava at the lake, her head on his shoulder. Caption: Best company with a red heart. I'd liked it. The betrayal wasn't just a knife. It was a slow-acting venom, seeping into every memory, poisoning every laugh, every inside joke, every I love you. I stopped eating, stopped answering texts. Mom thought I was sick. Dad kept asking if Jake and I broke up. I couldn't say the words out loud. How do you tell your parents their golden child stole your future? Ava tried to corner me in the kitchen, her voice a whisper. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. I laughed. Bitter. Broken. You don't accidentally fall in love with your sister's boyfriend, Ava. She flinched. I was going to tell you. After graduation. After? My voice cracked. So I could smile in your wedding photos. Hold your bouquet while you said I do to my life. I saw it then. The guilt in her eyes. But also relief. She'd been carrying a secret too heavy. And now it was out. She wanted forgiveness. She wanted me to make it okay. But I was done being the good sister. I started noticing things. The way Jake avoided my eyes at family dinners. How Ava's laugh changed when he was around. Higher, breathier. The matching keychains they suddenly had. The way Mom said, "You girls are so lucky to have each other." I wanted to scream. I don't have her anymore. But I didn't. Instead, I went quiet. And quiet can be louder than rage. I didn't scream. I didn't slap. I didn't give them the explosion they expected. I went strategic. Step 1. I moved into the guest room. No more shared bathroom. No more borrowed clothes. No more midnight talks. Ava knocked every day. Lena, please. I never answered. Step 2. I gathered proof. Screenshots of their texts. Jake had a bad habit of leaving his phone unlocked. Photos from mutual friends' stories. A voice memo Ava left me weeks ago, drunk. I think I'm in love with him, Lena. What do I do? I deleted it then. I recovered it now. Step 3. The family dinner. Mom insisted we talk it out. Sunday roast. Mashed potatoes. Like old times. I waited until everyone had seconds. Then I stood. Before dessert, I said, voice steady, there's something you all need to know. I played the voice memo. Showed the texts. The lake photo. Mom's fork clattered. Dad's face went white. Ava sobbed, Lena, please. Jake stared at his plate like it could save him. I looked at Jake. You said I was your home. Turns out you just needed a spare key. Then Ava, you wanted to be me so bad. You took the one thing that was mine. Hope it was worth it. I walked out. Didn't slam the door. Just left. Mom made Ava move into the basement. Dad stopped speaking to Jake entirely. Mutual friends chose sides. Most chose mine. Jake's perfect guy reputation. Shredded. Ava lost her soccer scholarship. The coach heard about the family drama, said it showed poor character, but the real revenge. I healed. I started therapy. Dyed my hair the red Ava always wanted but wasn't allowed. Got a promotion at the cafe. Made new friends who'd never met my sister. I stopped saying I'm fine. Started saying I'm becoming. 6 months later, Ava showed up at my new apartment. 1 bedroom. String lights. Plants I hadn't killed yet. She stood in the hallway. Eyes swollen. Voice small. I'm sorry. I hate who I became. I let her stand there. Didn't invite her in. I don't hate you, Ava. I just don't need you anymore. I closed the door. Here's what I learned. Betrayal doesn't define you. Healing does. Family isn't just blood. It's who shows up when the mask slips. Revenge isn't always destruction. Sometimes it's walking away so cleanly, they spend the rest of their lives staring at the space you left. I'm Lena. I lost a sister and a boyfriend that day. But I found me. And that's the happiest ending I could have written. Sunlight through window. Narrator. Whisper. If you're watching this, and someone broke your trust, know this. You are not the crack. You are the light that gets through. Thank you for listening. I'm Lena, and I'm finally, truly, free.
Imagine waking up one morning, and your entire town is gone. Not destroyed, not burned. Gone. Every house, every street, every single person. Erased from the map as if it never existed. The government says it was never there. The locals still refuse to drive down that road at night. And the people who try to investigate, they disappear too. This is the true story of the American town that vanished overnight, and the cover-up that is still in place today. A beat of silence, welcome to Beneath the American Dream. Tonight, for the next 40 minutes, we're going to the one place in America that officially doesn't exist anymore. A place that had 846 residents in 1958, and 0 by the morning of October 17, 1959. No bodies, no wreckage, no explanation. Just a forest that grew back too fast. And a government file that's still classified until 2075. This is the story of Willow Creek, West Virginia, and the night America made an entire town disappear. Show real 1950s archive of small town life. Willow Creek, founded 1898, coal plus lumber boom town. Population peak 1958, 846 souls. 1 school, 1 church, 1 diner, 1 movie theater. Annual Eagle Days Festival every October 16th. Everyone knew everyone, eyewitness-style narration of the last documented day. Festival footage reconstructions. Mayor's speech at 7:12 p.m. Kids getting cotton candy. Strange green lights seen over the ridge at 11:47 p.m. by 12 witnesses show newspaper clipping. Local radio station signs off at midnight with, "See you all tomorrow." State Trooper Carl Ramsey arrives at 6:03 a.m. for coffee. Finds nothing. Aerial photos before versus after show real declassified satellite, even if redacted. Only thing left, the concrete foundation of the church and 1 child's red shoe. Military arrives within 90 minutes. roadblocks 5 miles out. Reporters turned away at gunpoint, 3 waves of stories the government pushed. Flight to 1965. Mass hallucination caused by toxic coal gas. 1966-1981. Underground mine fire forced secret evacuation. 1982 today. The town never existed. Map error, 4 real people who tried to talk. Postmaster Margaret Holt. Suicide. 1961. Army Sergeant Daniel Crow, car accident, 1964, no skid marks. Journalist Thomas Reeve, vanished, 1972. Dr. Evelyn Price, geologist, institutionalized 1987 after releasing soil samples showing impossible radiation spikes, declassified 2023 radiation maps, show them. 2021 drone footage over the site, perfectly flat ground, trees all same age. Audio tape smuggled out in 1998, play the 47-second clip of distant screaming under wind. Recent ground-penetrating radar by private team. Massive void 40 feet down, secret nuclear waste disposal gone wrong. Accidental detonation. Early Philadelphia experiment-style teleportation test using the town as a closed population. Something came through, and they opened the door. The theory the surviving documents are terrified of.
Willow Creek is still out there, buried under new trees, guarded by men who were never born when it happened. The American dream tells you freedom and truth go hand in hand, but tonight you've seen what happens when the dream needs a sacrifice. If you want the next episode to be about the children who were found 400 miles away with no memory, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and comment the word Willow below, because some truths are only allowed to surface when enough of us look beneath the American dream. Show original 1943 USS Eldridge photos. Explain how the alleged 1943 test used massive Tesla coils, plus Einstein's unified field notes to bend light and radar. Reveal that Willow Creek sat exactly 198 miles due west of the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, the exact safe distance mentioned in surviving 1943 memos. Declassified ONR, Office of Naval Research. Budget 1958-1960 shows $187 million 2025 equivalent, $2.1 billion moved to a black project codenamed Rainbow 2. One line, accidentally unredacted in 1994. Closed population insertion test, scheduled autumn 1959, West Virginia site. The ridge behind Willow Creek has one of the strongest natural magnetic anomalies on the East Coast, discovered during 1950s iron ore surveys. The town was 1,000 people, small enough to erase, large enough to prove the tech worked on living tissue. Coal mines underneath created a natural Faraday cage, perfect for containing the field. October 16, 1959, was the exact night of a lunar perigee plus solar storm. Peak geomagnetic conditions, reconstruction based on 3 separate leaked reports from people who claim to have been near the field. At 11:02 p.m., the sky turned violet-green. Every compass in town spun wildly. Streetlights exploded in sequence from east to west. People felt a pressure like diving 100 feet underwater. A sound described as the loudest silence you've ever heard. Then a flash brighter than the sun, and the town was simply not there anymore. 3 days later, on October 20th, 1959, 7 children aged 4 to 9 were found walking along Route 50 near Parkersburg, West Virginia, 400 miles northwest, barefoot, wearing the exact clothes from the festival photos. They had no memory of travel. Their shoes were missing, but their feet were clean. Radiation burns on the backs of their necks formed perfect geometric patterns. All 7 were taken by men in unmarked black sedans within 2 hours. Official record: children never existed. Hoax by local teenagers. One sentence survives the redaction. Willow Creek insertion successful. Extraction window collapsed at T+0.7 seconds. Subjects presumed phase shifted outside observable continuum. Recommend permanent site denial and population erasure from all records. True, the U.S. mastered large-scale matter teleportation in 1959, 65 years ahead of public science. If true, 846 American citizens are still alive, somewhere, in some fold of reality we can't reach. If true, the same technology was weaponized.
Now here's where it gets darker. Between 1960 and 1974, 3 separate families in Ohio, Kentucky, and Virginia Adopted children who showed up on orphanage doorsteps with no paperwork. Children who had strange geometric scars on the backs of their necks. Children who spoke of a town where the sky turned green and everyone went sleepy by. All three families reported the same thing in the middle of the night. They would wake up to find their adopted child standing at the foot of the bed whispering, "They're coming back to finish the count." Every single one of those children vanished from locked bedrooms before their 10th birthday. No traces, no ransom notes, just an open window and a faint smell of ozone. In 1983, a janitor at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base smuggled out a single sheet of paper that ended up on the desk of ufologist Leonard Stringfield. It was a medical intake form dated October 21, 1959. 7 names, the exact 7 festival names. Ages match. Under condition on arrival, someone had typed, "Phase displacement survivors. Cellular age unchanged. Memory suppressed via compound NN17. Recommend permanent containment level 5 until extraction window reopens 2033-2037. At the bottom, a handwritten note in red ink. If they remember, terminate. The paper was authenticated by 3 separate forensic labs before the janitor committed suicide by hanging in a room with no ceiling fixtures. So when the government tells you those 7 children never existed, when they call it a hoax by teenagers, ask yourself this. Why does the National Security Agency still have an active file codenamed Willow 7 that is scheduled to remain sealed until December 31, 2037, exactly 78 years after the event? Why do satellite passes over certain coordinates in Nevada still get automatically blurred when the date rolls around to October 20th every year? And why to this day do locals on Route 50 refuse to stop for children walking alone after dark? Because some of them swear the kids still show up. Barefoot. Clean feet, glowing green eyes, counting under their breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still missing one more. 10 full seconds of silence let the low drone hum underneath. Those 7 children were the only proof that whatever happened to Willow Creek didn't just erase a town. It tore a hole, and something came through the other side. And whatever it was, it's still counting. Next episode, we go to the Nevada Desert Facility where some people believe the 7 are still being kept, waiting for the window to open again. If you want that video the second it drops, hit the bell and comment the word counting below. Because the American dream has a body count, and some of those bodies might still be walking.